in a rush?
Oh, no.
Or do I have to have Okay.
I am certainly not now.
Okay.
How are you, Bruce?
I will say though, something very exciting did happen, and it was exciting even for me.
Well, the game was exciting.
JD Vancett was there,
Yes.
and his motorcade went in front of us. JD Vance was there with Eric Cudley.
He was serving beer.
He was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I think
But
at
like
the
his
I think at the tailgate.
Oh, so we walked past the tailgate, and the motorcade went in front of us, and like regardless where I fall politically, like anything historical like that just gives me like the warm and fuzzies because it's like it's historical. And I mean, it was just interesting to see like the logistical aspects of having a national candidate. Like there were like fully decked out, tripped out Army Ranger dudes, police officers, like in his car with like helmets and stuff. My children are very excited. I mean, it was cool though. Huh? They do. But it's like,
It's 6:04.
oh, sorry. Shocking.
Please excuse me and accept my apologies for being late, but we will call this meeting to order at 6:05 PM on Monday, October 21st, 2024. Oh, bless you. All right, we have some consent agenda items and some general fund vouchers and purchasing card transactions. Request approval of general fund vouchers 182496 through 182717 and 293040 through 293077, and purchasing card transactions dated 8/21/24 through 9/20/24. We have some professional staffing recommendations. And we have some personnel items with no vote necessary, so I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Okay, I'll move to accept the consent agenda items as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Megan. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 4-0. Oh, Megan wasn't here, yeah. 4-0, sorry. I'll only do that probably 3 or 4 more times tonight. Okay, and next we have some public comments. And in that case, I have a small read to do here, and then we'll get to it. In accordance with School Board Policy 167.3, the McFarland School Board welcomes public comment during regular meetings from individuals who are present at the meeting, participating virtually, or have sent an email to the board president or superintendent. Participants are required to register to speak upon arriving at the meeting, provide their name, address, and any group affiliation before speaking. Address only topics within the legitimate jurisdiction of the board. Recognize that the board will not respond to comments during the meeting unless the item is on the published agenda, and limit comments to under 5 minutes or 600 written words, And of course, maintain decorum. And we have Cassandra Dennis. Welcome.
Good evening. I am Cassandra Dennis, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Spartan Forward. I want to express our continued commitment to engaging and educating voters about the upcoming election. We are dedicated to ensuring that our community is well-informed and energized as we approach this important decision. Spartan Saturdays have been a consistent presence throughout the campaign, offering voters a valuable opportunity to learn about the referendum and ask questions in a relaxed, community-focused environment. We believe this consistency is crucial in helping voters to make informed decisions. With 2 Saturdays left, our featured guests will be Craig Howery and Paul Ackley, who will continue to provide important insights. In addition to our voter outreach, Spartan Forward was thrilled to participate in the recent Trunk or Treat event. Although we set up across the street, our trunk was a great success, drawing plenty of engagement from the community. It was a wonderful opportunity to connect with families in a fun and meaningful way. We're also excited to share that we currently have a Spartan Forward Scarecrow in Arnold Larson Park as part of the Chamber of Commerce's seasonal event. Our display features a teacher and students symbolizing the heart of our efforts, supporting education. We encourage you to stop by and check it out. On election night, we will be gathering at the local bowling alley to wait the results, and we would love to have anyone join us. It will be a great night to celebrate the hard work and dedication that has gone into this campaign, and we hope you'll be a part of it. Throughout this process, we hope you've seen the vast organization, passion, and commitment from Spartan Forward, from our community events to our voter outreach. We have remained champions for this election, and we will continue to be until November 5th. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your ongoing support of our schools and community.
Thank you very much. Okay, informational items. We've got first, school safety written drill evaluation, notification, and review per Wisconsin State Statute 118.07 4CP.
Yes.
Mr. Tarnitzer.
Yes, so you can see in your board packets, there were 3 events that we are sharing for your informational purposes tonight. 2 were what we call an administrative hold, which is when students just remain in their classrooms. Instruction, I almost said construction continues. Instruction continues while they were doing that, and those were for students that were in crisis and to provide privacy. And then we also had a fire alarm at the high school. So things were handled well and efficiently, and you can see those details in your reports.
Any questions, comments?
Now, once again, I appreciate the feedback, the debriefing session, because I know it takes a lot of planning and time and coordination, and so I appreciate all the staff being able to be available for that.
And all 3 of those were unplanned, so
Oh,
that gave us an opportunity.
well, that makes it even more fun.
Yes. Thankfully, the weather is gorgeous for the evacuation, the high school evacuation. The students did return.
Yeah. I think it's also comforting to parents, knowing that the staff does this once a month, even though it might be a different slant to it, knowing that the district is doing all they can to make sure that if an incident were to occur, they're fully prepared.
Well said.
Anything else? Then we'll move on to business and education partnership update.
Do you want to chat a little bit about the purpose of the business and education partnership? And then I can go into the overall overview of the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
So the Business Education Partnership has been around for a very long time, and it is where local business leaders connect with school staff to look for opportunities to provide even stronger connections than what we have had in the past. The group was less active last year. I think, coming out of COVID, we've had to kind of restructure the group a little bit, and there's a real new energy and looking to restart the group. And the purpose is just to look for more and more opportunities for us to to collaborate together, and we had a very good first meeting of the school year that Megan's going to tell you about.
Yes, I'm going to go over a brief overview. So Penny Thompson led the meeting, and I was really excited to meet her because we've all gotten many, many emails from her. And when we first sat down, I got this overwhelming feeling that I recognized her. And so we started chatting after the meeting, and I went to Middleton High School, and I was very involved with DECA. And she was actually my DECA advisor when I was in high school. It was so funny to bring that together. So over the course of the meeting, we met for just a little bit over an hour. We had 3 student reps. We had 2 from DECA and then 1 from Skills USA. And first, DECA went through everything, gave us a really nice update as to what's going on. I think what's really exciting is that we actually have the most number of DECA members in McFarland history. We have 180, which is pretty fantastic. And I think we can all agree that our DECA kids are great at what they do. So, so far this year, they've done the McFarland Industry College Experience. 38 DECA members went to UW-Madison and actually met with some of the alumni there, so that was pretty exciting. Then they went over their community events, which is White Out to Wipe Out Cancer, the Spartan tailgates that have been very successful. Unfortunately, football is now over, so those won't be happening anymore this season. Then the Miracle Minutes that go on during football, basketball, and volleyball games. Then they've always been extremely strong when it comes to competitions. So the first competition will be January 11th, which is the district-wide competition. State, which is going to be February 23rd through the 26th, and then internationals, which will be April 25th through the 30th. And one thing I will point out, if anybody feels like judging, in the district ones, I do know they ask for judges for DECA, so that could be pretty fun. Then getting into Skills USA, this is actually something I'm pretty familiar with, only because my husband has been really involved with Skills USA. So Skills USA really brings together students in terms of manufacturing, HVAC, carpentry, and they're given the opportunity to truly showcase their skills. So it kind of went down during COVID a little bit, but now membership is starting to increase. So the way Skills USA works is they basically have 8 hours to complete a project. Example would be carpentry and millwork. They are literally given a pile of wood and directions, and they have 8 hours to complete it, and then they get voted on it. So I've been able to see it firsthand. It's pretty cool. And then they do like a big award ceremony, and it's pretty awesome. So the first competition is actually going to be on December 11th, and I know Mr. Pennekamp, who is in charge of Skills USA here at the high school, does a really great job with it, and they're just really excited to get some more students involved in it. I think they have 11 right now, if memory serves.
That feels right.
Yeah. And so we went a little over what their activities were going to be and future plans. So pretty exciting stuff going on with DECA and Skills USA. So then we just went through the school-led events that we have going on. So, senior exit interviews, reality zone, the job fair that goes on, obviously DECA, Skills USA advising night in January and February. And then we went through the youth apprenticeship program. So I know we've talked a lot about the youth apprenticeship and everything that goes on with McFarland. I do believe in Dane County we have the highest number of youth apprentices, which is awesome. So just kind of give you an overview of the various areas that you can do apprenticeships in. We have agriculture, construction, finance, health science, manufacturing, marketing, protective services, STEM, and then transportation. And transportation can be car sales, it can be working at a dealership, anything like that. And I know Penny is really continuing to add more areas that people can focus on. So she's got some pretty exciting stuff. And I know my kiddo is going to be a youth apprentice next year. And so getting all that info from Penny has been awesome. So then as we were working with the McFarland Chamber of Commerce and Meg Chin, they really went through what was going on from a business perspective in McFarland. So Winter Wonderland in the Village is going to be coming up pretty soon, even though it's 80 degrees right now, and it's almost November. Winter Wonderland is going to be coming. They're doing spotlight coffees every month where the chamber will get together and they'll meet at various businesses to, really build relationships, collaborate, and talk about what's going on in the chamber, and more specifically in McFarland. They did 3 bands by the boardwalk that were extremely successful, and then their annual golf outing. So then we just went through some of, upcoming dates, and I already talked about it a little bit. And if you would like these dates more specifically, I'll be more than happy to send them all to you. I have them all on a PowerPoint slide. And then another cool thing we did was talked about some future ideas for school-led events outside of what's already going on. So a career expo, Careers on Wheels, which is a mobile idea that students, families can come and really interact with different career opportunities. And then we're also going to look at doing a monthly Student Employee Excellence Award, which should be pretty fun, but we're really just in the beginning stages of that. So once we get a little bit more info, I will absolutely share it with you. And another cool thing that's going on for our younger kiddos, Indian Mound, there is going to be, excuse me, I have all these notes on here, a career fair called Future Quest. It's November 20th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Alliant Energy Center. And it truly is a career fair slated more towards those middle-aged kids. So everything from fire and rescue, welding, HVAC, teaching, kids can come in and get a truly hands-on experience. So they had firefighters, they put on all the fire gear and took them through, CPR, running with the hose. They got to, handcuff people with the police force, things like that. So it seems to be a really great opportunity. I'll be honest with you, I saw the video and I actually wanted to do it myself, just because it looks like a lot of fun. But that will be something really great for our middle school kids to get involved in. So that was the BEP in a nutshell.
What, it's future what? Is it
Future Quest.
Quest.
They've done it 5-6 times before.
Probably.
And we
Yeah.
do have a really great video that I can share with you guys as well, that gives a really nice overview of it.
Is that the Alliance Center, that event?
Yep.
Cool. Any questions, comments?
My only comment is, it's a thorough report.
Thank you.
I was gonna say,
And and
I couldn't keep up, but well done.
you
I
were-
was trying to talk fast because I know we only have an hour for our regular board meeting. So, but I have notes if you want to see them. I can send them.
All right. Very
And I'm glad
good.
you included, because I was waiting to see what the connection was between Skills USA and the other, and the Youth Apprenticeship Program. And it finally came out. So,
Yes.
Yeah, thanks
No
Yeah.
problem.
for doing that.
Perfect. We've a board update. Mr. Mooney.
Sure, I'll be glad to do that. Let's see, the September 3rd Friday count for WEVA was less than what they had expected. However, 1 week later, they had 100 new students. Following the third Friday count, during that time, there were 500 active applications in process. So what they're trying to do is figure out how to, through incentives or something, to get those parents to start applying earlier, so they are counted in the third Friday count. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for the application process from start to finish. So they're talking about probably around August 1st, starting that. The goal is to streamline the application. Again, we talked about that last week. 29% of the students enrolled at WEVA are students with disabilities. I think I shared that previously. There's an update by the marketing firm demonstrating success in increasing student enrollment. I think what they're going to be doing next is trying to increase student enrollment earlier versus later. The Family Council reported out. Their goal is to collectively listen to all the stakeholders, parents and guardians and students, and it's a collaborative problem-solving group. They meet once a month, all virtually. The Staff Advisory Council reported out on the relationship building that they're doing with students and engage in ongoing student assessments at this point. And then the Destination Career Academy, DCA, reported out. They talked about student celebrations, highlighting student accomplishments. And it's interesting that 100% of students and parents who participate in the DECA Connect tour actually apply and enroll in DECA, not DECA. in
DCEA.
Connect.
DCA.
DCA Connect. So that goes to show, the parents can actually see what's going on and see that partnership with the manufacturing, the business, and the education piece. That solidifies a lot of their thinking. And that concludes my report for WEVA.
Any questions or comments?
I would say, just to put it in context, so that 29% of students being students identified with disabilities, that's like double the
Yeah.
percentage in our brick and mortar school, they are really looking at how to streamline that process, because they don't want it to take 6 weeks to onboard and miss those kids in the count. So they're definitely working on that. Something that Dr. Cutler shared with me the other day, I thought that was interesting, is I think it's 40% of their students every year are new to WEVA. So there's a high turnover. So that's a lot of extra work, whereas people just need to update their forms for us. That's starting a whole new process for 40% of 4,400, 44,400, I think, usually.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Kids, that's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of
And that's why students who return, they can complete that whole process in the spring.
Yep.
And just slip in. And Aaron, you're absolutely right. When our new students come, we have them enrolled almost immediately versus the virtual. So I'm confident that a year from now, the WEVA report will show vast improvement over that. Because when they put their heart to it, they're very creative in problem solving. So more to come.
Awesome.
Okay, moving on, we have the CISA 2 Board of Control update. Mr. Mooney.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Megan, your report is very timely because we had a guest speaker at our Board of Control. It was Scott Carr, and he's the Career, Community, and Life Readiness CISA consultant. And he's sort of a visionary, and he talks about what it's going to look like and sound like in the future, the classrooms. He indicates, and we all know this, we are experiencing this now in McFarland, a paradigm shift in what kids used to do in the classroom versus what they do now, and how the classroom walls have extended out to the community and to the businesses. There'll be a decline in the classroom footprint in the future. If so many students are balancing their classes between brick and mortar and out in the field, we won't need as much space in the future. They are reimagining what classrooms, again, will look like, sound like, where the business and classroom space will become blurred, and now it is getting blurred a little, but you have to go somewhere to, unlike WEVA with CDA, their Connect, business, manufacturing, and students are all together under one roof. I think we may get that here eventually. In the future, 3 to 4 generations will work together. The content will be delivered in the classroom, in the workplace, and in the world. What they want to do is catapult students to more success out there. And where the community and the career becomes a solid pathway to success for all students. And that concludes my WEVA.
Excellent. Any questions, comments?
Oh, no, excuse me, I turned the page.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah, I will continue because this is really important. By 2030, it's anticipated that less than 30% future employees or workforce will require a 4-year degree or higher. That's huge. And we can sort of see that movement beginning
What is
now.
it now, Tom, do you know?
I don't know what it is
Yeah,
now.
it's less than 30, they're saying? Is that what you said?
Oh, it will be less than 30.
Yeah, that's-
Right now, I'm sure it's pretty high. It reminds me when the district was involved in Project 2061 years ago.
Yeah.
That was visionary. And some of the things that we're doing now is what we talked about 30 years ago. So change is slow, but change does happen. So that's the good thing. There are 21 CISA consultants serving 74 school districts in CISA 2. And it's interesting because we have a communication marketing director, and they're overloaded because they're trying to shift their programming around too. And they've hired a UW-Whitewater communication intern to help with that. And they're paid, I think they just work maybe 2 or 3 days a week, but it's really lessen the load for the director. It might be something that we take a look at sometime in the future.
It's on the list.
Well, let's see if there's anything else. Nope, I think that's it now. That concludes my report.
All right. Any other comments? No. Hearing none, we will move on to our district administrator's report. Mr. Tarnitzer, the floor is yours.
All right, I'm just going to highlight a couple of things, just keeping in mind the time. You have seen some things, heard about our forward test results that we've received. You'll hear more about those at the November 4th meeting, which is when we will share the school improvement plans. So just a few things to note. So most of our students are meeting or exceeding expectations in ELA, math, science, and social studies, more so than in previous years. So we're showing growth in those, in the percentage meeting those expectations. We had the #1 ranking in the county for 8th grade math, science, and social studies. So that 8th grade, last year's 8th grade current freshman class really did very well, class of 2028. And 4th grade social studies also first in the county. 8th grade ELA, or 8th grade was also 3rd in ELA. So across the board, they did very well. In English language arts, when you look at the ranking of our cohorts, we either improved or stayed the same compared to the county in terms of our ranking. Last year's 4th and 8th graders had really nice jumps in the rankings. I will say, one of the things I should have said from the outset, the assessment was renormed, so you really can't compare to previous years. So that's why you won't hear me talk about trends too much, but just more comparing. In math, pretty stable ranking with our cohorts, some slight slips for last year's 5th and 7th graders, so that's something to look into. Science, 4th and 1st in the county, you know, that's certainly something, that's a trend that we've seen very consistently, as well as social studies, which is 5th, 1st, and 1st in the county. So some nice rankings in both science and social studies as well. Continue to outperform the state average. And when you look at our results with the rest of Dane County, really in most grades and really all subjects, we improved or maintained our rankings. So that's to be celebrated. The things that we're really looking at, and you'll hear more about this next week, are some of the achievement gaps that we see, particularly our students with and without disabilities. That continues to be an achievement gap that we need to address and explore further, and we'll talk to you about what we're doing
Are we making progress?
for that. No, I would say between last year and this year, that gap has slightly increased, but it's certainly not decreasing, at least in 1 year's time. So, but we will talk about that as part of our
In 2
November
weeks.
4th.
Did you say?
Yes, yes, our next meeting.
Right.
And Aaron, one question I'll ask, it doesn't have to be answered tonight, is, so the 8th grade math performance was #1?
Yes, correct.
So how do we follow that cohort group of kids for the next 4 years? To continue to support them,
Yep.
so they continue to sort of like outperform
Yeah.
other districts.
It'll be interesting to see too how the forward exam results translate to the ACT, which they
Yeah.
start taking in high school. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, hard work for many people.
Absolutely.
On up, but a lot to celebrate there. Coming up on the 29th, we're going to have an author study, so that will be really, really great. We won't have a board meeting before then, so I wanted to highlight that for our 7th graders. So we will have Kwame Alexander and Jason Reynolds, two well-known, very popular young adult authors who are presenting to our students virtually. And so they're kind of friends, and they're really going to talk about generating their ideas in the writing and give some tips to our 7th grade writers. And Kwame's going to actually talk about his new book, Black Star, which I haven't read yet, but and share some ideas about that as well. So a neat thing, and appreciate the literacy team for setting that up, especially Aaron Fisher. Thanks to the health services, I want to remind you that they set up regular dental clinics with Bridging Brighter Smiles group, and that's just a great service that I think many in the community don't realize is a service that our students provide. So our down here, what we call the hot dog conference room, that conference room transforms into a dental office, and around the district buildings do, rooms do, so neat service. I wasn't able to attend, but the third grade had their showcase on the 17th, and I know they were very excited about that, so I'm going to assume it went really well. A lot of work is underway for conferences. Conferences are coming up. This week, we have the middle school and the high school, and November 4th through 8th is Wabisa and Conrad Elvium Primary School. So a lot of work goes into that, preparing that, a great opportunity, and our families do take advantage of that. Wanted to give a shout out to Jeff Mahoney, Alicia Fix, and Stu Schaefer for arranging for a walking program during the colder months that will happen here in the halls of the high school between 6 and 7:15 in the morning. So our early morning walkers will have a safe place to walk. Yeah, so it's a very good thing. That'll start coming up here in November when it actually gets cold. Some other events to share. It is National School Bus Safety Week, so grateful for Nelsons who really put safety at the top of everything that they do, and our students who remain safe on the bus. I always tell them, just a reminder, the bus driver has your life in their hands, so maybe don't distract them. I'm sure they listen.
Please.
Family Fun Night at Wabisa is coming up on Wednesday. The conferences, we have staff development on Thursday. Friday is a conference release day, so teachers have off on those days. So thank you, parents, for making those arrangements on Thursdays and Friday. Sunday is our referendum information session, Sunday evening. We have human growth and development for 4th and 5th grade, parents of 4th and 5th grade students on October 30th at Wabisa. Halloween is obviously coming up, and then November is Native American Heritage Month, Youth Homeless Awareness Month, National Veterans and Military Families Month, and we've got the high school play elsewhere coming up. Also November 1st is Diwali, November 2nd is Dia de los Muertos, November 2nd through the 4th is our Hmong New Year in Wisconsin, and we're back here for a school board meeting on the 4th. And I've got some pictures I would like to share with you.
I also want to point out
Yes?
the Fall Craft Fair is
Oh,
this
yes.
Saturday at Indian Mound
Must have went too fast.
from 9 to 2.
9
If you
to
haven't
2
been,
at the middle
it's super
school.
fun. I'm going to go get my crafting buying on. So, yeah.
Yes. Some of us will be there
That
to
was well
answer
received
questions
last year.
about the referendum. All right, so you can see here at Conrad Elvium, we have 1st and 6th grade buddy classrooms with Mrs. Brzezinski's and Ms. Presser's classes. Always that cross-age stuff. Kids just love it so much. A lot of fun there. You can see Mrs. Punzel's class here. They were doing an inside-outside circle spelling strategy, so you can imagine you're meeting with a different group of kids and you're kind of doing this circle, get it? You face each other, inside circle, face the outside circle. Yes, nod your heads, you understand. Yeah, that's a good activity, gets them up and moving and having a good time. Safety Patrol, they do a great job. If you ever are kind of curious, stop out there some morning and see, they take their job very seriously. They do a great job. A little bit of Timberley, just to give you a sense of the goings-on at Timberley. It certainly, that doesn't capture everything, but when you can get your hands on a turtle, that's a good time. Right there, well done. It's a Science Nature Walk in what was previously the school forest there, and now the village has. For us, a great place. One of the many things I wasn't the best at as a principal was using that space, and so glad they're taking advantage of the nature right out their back door at the middle school. Little math meet team practice, a lot of pride there, getting ready for competitions. I'm not sure when their competitions are, but always exciting for our math teams. Megan mentioned this earlier. Here's some pictures from that field trip that DECA took. University Bookstore, I got to see some grads. We had the 10th annual autism football camp where students with autism come and get to have a little football practice and camp, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. So really appreciate everybody involved in that, especially the Fruits family.
That was a great, great story.
Yeah, it was well done. MRAP had the kick, throw, and go competition there. A lot of excitement and participants there. Another fun event. And of course, National School Lunch Week was last week. And, you know, I continue to brag about our food service, partly because I eat it every day and really miss them all summer. But they do such a great job, creative meals for our kids, and they're always looking at ways to improve. But the high-quality food that they are able to obtain for an affordable price while meeting the guidelines are just amazing. And we'll talk about that a little
Not
more.
only that, but they connect well with the students.
They do.
Regardless of what level they're at.
They do. It's really, in my time here, you just continue to see it get better, and you think it can't,
Yeah,
but
it does.
it just does. And of course, I mentioned National School Bus Safety Week. Yeah. So that concludes my report. Anything else from the board members?
Leah, is it Leah Lakey?
Lackey?
Lackey?
Lackey.
Fifth grade teacher from Wabisa. I think we all got an invitation to
Oh,
go
yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
and listen to the, some fifth grade students share their author stories. Two of them did out loud over the PA system. After that, they paired off. And the two that presented to the whole group, it was remarkable, their stories. One dealt with being a friend since kindergarten to fifth grade now with a particular student. And these are well-written, and the vocabulary they use,
interesting.
it's impressive. So you can tell that over the years, teachers have really worked hard at helping students become young authors. The second one was about a student and his brother riding their bikes and being chased by a dog. But the mom didn't believe there was a dog, and it was just quite humorous. And then when the students broke down into groups, I was able just to listen to a couple groups. One group, this one student shared about hiding his Halloween candy from his brothers so they wouldn't steal it. And this was last Halloween, so I can't imagine what he'll do this Halloween.
Right.
I was in a classroom, Mrs. Gray's classroom, this past week. I just happened to stop in there, and she had a former student that is now in first grade come and read to her kindergarten class.
Oh, nice.
And it was really interesting, because students change, mostly for the positive, over a year. And this is very obvious with this student. But the mannerisms of what a teacher would do as far as showing the book, pointing to different
Yes.
things in the book, turn the book around, you can just tell that he was just imitating probably Marcy Gray and probably Mrs. Froden, since that's his first grade teacher. So it's that multi-age exchange, which is really beneficial.
Yes.
And then lastly, thanks to some of the staff at the PAC, they opened it up on Friday or Saturday, Friday for Mad Hatters.
Oh, yes.
And we enjoyed, my grandson enjoyed it, and again, there were two individuals working that evening, so I appreciate their willingness to provide that to our community here.
Was that in the Black Box Theater?
No, it was in the PAC.
It was?
Yeah. And they did some workshops with classes during the day, is my understanding. So,
Okay, anything else? Moving on. We have some action items. First is action on the 2024-25 budget changes. Mr. Mahoney, do you have anything for us additional?
Nope, these are typical of the minor changes that you made related to something just before the annual meeting.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll have many more budget changes throughout the year as we bring final grant allocations up to date and so forth.
Okay. Administration recommends approval of the attached budget changes for the 2024-2025 school year. I would look for a motion to approve.
I can do that.
Bruce, do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Tom. Any discussion?
Just, Jeff, thanks for keeping us continuously updated on these changes. because there's never no surprises, because the way you present these changes, they're gradual and they're up to date, so thanks.
You bet our auditors like it as well.
I bet they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I've got a motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 unanimously. Action on joint village board and school board letter to legislators regarding funding. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Megan. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, Bruce. Discussion?
So this has been approved by the village board as well, so this is the last stop for us, and then if this does pass this evening, make signatures and get it delivered.
Yep. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Action on recommended WEVA, Destinations Career Academy and Insight School of Wisconsin, statutes 118.408G, student transfers to resident districts. At this time, WEVA, Destinations Career Academy and Insight School of Wisconsin are requesting approval of recommended student transfers back to their resident districts due to lack of engagement. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Tom. Second?
I can second.
Thank you, Megan. Any discussion?
That just seemed like the smallest number. I was really happy about that.
Well, it is
Obviously.
October.
Right, I understand
Yeah.
that, but just the same, it's, we've seen it in the past, had a lot more.
Yeah. Again, from my observation, the trend over the past 2.5 years, is that because of the efforts that they're putting
Yeah.
forth
Yeah.
in trying to keep those students with them, we've seen that, I would say, a general decrease. in
Yeah,
transfer backs.
percentage-wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0, and I would look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Megan?
I can second that.
Thank you, Bruce. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned at 6:44.
Okay.
And the live stream, and we'll come back in the next.
Okay.
Please feel free to mill about. Do not discuss any related items.